Hey, it's Terry, your yoga bestie, and thanks so much for being here with me today. Got a great class for you. We don't have any props or anything that you need in particular, but if there's anything that you like to have for your practice, like I like to have my blocks, feel free to bring them along. Otherwise, let's make our way into a comfortable space to check in with our breath. So maybe that's seated, maybe it's child's pose, maybe it's reclined. Got our buddy Lionel here. And as you make your way into your space, just settle in by determining where you want your arms and legs to be. And then once you've found that spot, go ahead and close your eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, taking this time to connect with our breath. It'll be our energy source throughout our practice. So as we inhale, we'll feel the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, we're feeling an expansion through our bellies, the side bodies, the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on exhalation, our belly button will draw in towards the spine, allowing us to use all three parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath, so you don't want to hear snoring like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. And let's see if we can create a rhythm where we inhale to the count of 3, 4, 5, even 6. Exhaling the same, or you might make that exhalation a little bit longer. And while you're tuning in, we've been talking about the niyamas in my class, which is the second of the 8 limbs of yoga. There are inner practices and self-relationships. And we are in the third of the 5, which is tapas, which always makes me think of delicious Spanish food. But that is not what we're talking about here. We are talking about inner discipline, fire, austerity, but we're using a definition of devotion without burnout. And our focus in this class is commitment over motivation. So how often do we wait to feel motivated before we actually take action? Maybe it took you motivation to come to this class today, but let's say that motivation is wonderful when it shows up, but it isn't particularly reliable. And commitment is what carries us when motivation isn't doing its job. So showing up doesn't also always mean pushing. Sometimes showing up means listening, modifying, taking rests. But just showing up, that's the practice. That's the tapas, is just making your way to your mat and then listening to what your body needs in the moment. And if your body needs just, the longest Shavasana ever, that's okay. That happens sometimes, but also, you might just surprise yourself when you show up because it's hard to just lay there when you decided to do something, right? So on our next inhale, let's find a full body stretch or movement, just depending on what shape you've chosen, just kind of seeing what's going on in your body today. And then either from a reclined space or from an upright seated position, we'll all bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice, which might just be tapas or devotion without burnout, emphasizing commitment over motivation. Or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you in this moment. Please honor that. Let's take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Yeah, and then we'll make our way up to a tabletop position. So coming onto our hands and knees, just checking in with the body a little bit, maybe finding some lateral movement or any other movements that come to mind, maybe some wrist stretches by bringing the fingertips towards you. I'm also a big fan of shifting the hips back and letting one knee come out to the side as you breathe into those side bodies. And just seeing what's going on today in the body. Also not losing that breath that we just spent time checking in with. So make sure that you are in tune with your breath. And then we'll tuck our toes under, make our way into our first down dog. So lifting up those hips nice and high, maybe keeping a bend in the knees as we move our hips from side to side, or just bicycling the legs out, checking in with how your body feels. Full inhale. Exhale. And then on our inhale, shift it forward, plank pose, nice and strong, keeping a long neck as you gaze towards the front of your mat or slightly past it. Inhale, filling up the side bodies, feel the rib cage expand. Exhale, lowering to your belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. We're all the way down, tops of the feet coming in the mat, hands are underneath the shoulders. And we'll inhale, lifting up cobra pose, bhujangasana. Exhale, we lower. We'll start to move through these on our own. Feel free to change up anything. I like to come onto my fingertips in a wide stance and then bring in some shoulder dips. Yeah, and the next time that the forehead lowers, let's make our way back into our down dog, lifting up those hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, shift it forward, plank pose. Exhale, we'll lower, so we can do it the same way, or maybe this time we hover, chaturanga. Inhaling cobra, or maybe up dog if you're ready. And then we'll exhale into our down dog, lifting up those hips nice and high. From that down dog, go ahead and lift up the right leg, open up the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling as we work that left heel down. You can hold here, maybe make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Nice. And then as we inhale, we'll straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose. We'll bring it back to one-legged down dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Once more, we reach it back. Exhale, knee to nose. And then bring that foot behind you, coming into your wild thing. So we'll come on to the ball of that foot as we lift up those hips nice and high. Holding it here, maybe finding some movement, like making some circles with the arm. Bending and straightening the legs. Next, inhale, we lift up. Exhale, gaze towards the front. Take a big step forward with your right foot. And we're setting up for our runner's lunge. So I like to have my blocks here. So if you like to have something similar, go for it. Otherwise, we just shift forward and back from our runners to a pyramid-like pose, moving at your pace. I also like to lower my knee down as I come forward. If that sounds good to you, cool. Otherwise, maybe it stays down the entire time, or maybe not at all. Really nice. Next time that we shift it forward, hold it here. And we're just bringing that back leg behind the right leg as we come onto our seat for a seated twist. So we'll twist towards the right, drawing the crown up nice and high as we lengthen through the spine. Exhale, belly button to spine. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we release. We're going the other direction. I'm going to show you a really cool yoga breakdancing move. This is as close as I get to breakdancing. Yeah, it's not very close, but hey, it's a little bit fun. So we're just going to walk our hands towards the left. We have to lift up our seat so that we walk all the way forward. So now, as we come back to the front of our mat, we're set up for that twist on the other side. This part may not be as fun. We're coming onto our backs. We're going to create a figure 4 with the legs. And go ahead and bring the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers. Elbows will come out to the sides as we reach that right leg up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Exhale, bring that right elbow across to meet the left knee. And then we just lower that head. And that's all we're doing. We're lifting and lowering. Nice. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we'll bring that foot down. We might just press to the inside of that knee, or if there's more space to come into more of a reclined pigeon pose, you might interlace the fingers underneath the knee or across the shin. Maybe finding a little bit of a sway from side to side. Inhale. And then as we exhale, let's tee out the arms as we come into a spinal twist. So you can keep that figure 4 shape, or you can let one leg rest on the other. And then you might gaze past those left fingertips. One more breath in. Exhale. And then bring your gaze to center. We'll bring our legs to center. And let's rock and roll forward and back. We're going to meet in our mountain pose. And then left knee is going to come into the chest as we reach the arms up overhead. One-legged mountain to our figure 4 chair. So we're going to sit back into that heel. We can reach our arms out in front of us. Hands could be at heart center. Can also come into a forward fold variation if that's in your practice. But really sitting back into the heel so we're breathing all of that space into the outer hip. One more breath in. Exhale, step it back like warrior two legs, and we're moving into our reverse warriors. We'll reach it up and over as we continue to soften through that knee, breathing space to that right side. Inhale. Exhale, we straighten that leg. Triangle pose. We're gonna reach, reach, reach. Right arm lowers as left arm lifts. I like my blocks. I'm gonna place it to the outside of my leg as a reminder to lean back so that we're really opening up through the chest. Big breath in. Exhale, lower that hand down. We can make our way into our runner's lunge and then take a vinyasa, or make your way to down dog however you like. Once we're in that down dog, left leg lifts. We'll open up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling as we work that right heel down. Staying here, making our circles going one way, going the other way. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, knee draws to nose. Nice. We'll reach it back. Give it a little kiss. Once more. Knee to nose, and then we find our wild thing. So bring that foot behind as we lift up those hips. Can stay here. We can start to find some movement, like making circles with the arm, bending and straightening through the legs. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, gaze to the front of your mat. Take a big step forward with that left foot in our runner's lunge, where maybe we have props, maybe we don't, as we start to shift forward and back in this space. Just seeing what's going on the left side. It's not always the same story as the right. Probably often not the same story. Next time we shift it forward, hold it here. Bring your back leg behind that left leg for our seated twist. So we'll twist towards the left. Big breath in, shoulders draw down as we lengthen. Exhale, belly button to spine, maybe going a little bit deeper into your twist. Inhaling. And exhale. Are we ready to break dance? All right. We'll walk our hands towards the right. We lift up our seat so that we spin all the way around. Now the opposite leg is on top, so it's our right leg. And then let's make our way onto our backs for things that are maybe less fun. We'll interlace the fingers. We'll bring that left leg up towards the ceiling as we take a full inhale. Exhale, bring that left elbow across to meet your right knee. And then we lower, and then we lift. We lower, we lift. Yeah, we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. We can lower that foot, gently pressing the inside of that knee. Maybe we find a different version, like interlacing underneath the knee or across the shin here for this reclined pigeon pose. Big breath in. As we exhale, move into your version of the twist. So I'm keeping that figure 4, but you don't have to. Maybe you rest one leg on top of the other, and then I'm gazing past those right fingertips, just allowing the body to surrender here into the floor. One more big breath in. Exhale. And then let's bring our gaze to center. We'll bring our legs to center. And we'll rock and roll our way up to our mountain pose. And once we have that mountain pose, we come into one-legged mountain, bringing that right knee into the chest as we reach those arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, we create that figure 4 shape. So same options as we had on the first side, just listening to what this side needs as you scoot that seat back. So weight is in that left heel. One more big breath in. Exhale, step it back. Warrior 2 legs as we take it to the reverse, reaching it up and over, breathing into that left side body. Big breath in. Exhale, straighten that leg as you reach back. And then we're moving into our triangle pose. So maybe enlisting the help of a little friend I like to call Block. Really opening up through the chest by sitting back into the pose. One more breath in. Exhale, lower that hand, moving into our runner's lunge, where we can take our vinyasa, or we can go right to down dog. And in that down dog, take a big breath in here. Exhale, soften the knees, gazing forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Let's reverse, reaching it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, keep your gaze forward as you make your way to your down dog. So you can take a vinyasa like I'm doing. You can skip it, whatever you're feeling. Maybe do a little combo. So we'll bend the knees, gazes forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse it. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. We step or float it back. Lowering with muscle. Inhaling into our cobra or up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Big breath in here. Exhale, bend those knees. Gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Last one. Let's reverse. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. We step or float it. Making our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How we doing? Well, that is our warm-up for today. So congratulations for getting that done, because that is a big deal. If you're new to my practice, I do 2 main sequences, and the warm-up has almost all of them in it. So in those 2 main sequences, which I call peanut butter and jelly, we do them each 3 times a piece. So lots of repetition, so listen to what you need. And then at the end, we bring those 2 together for one delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich. How's that sound? It sounds amazing. Thanks for saying so. All right, well, we're gonna start out in down dog for peanut butter today. So as we make our way there, we're practicing tapas, so devotion without burnout. And maybe throughout the practice, we have to remind ourselves it's commitment over motivation. Sometimes that's what we needed to kick in instead of that motivation, right? So we'll make our way there. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, we move into our wild thing. So bring that foot behind as you lift up those hips. And then as we exhale, gaze forward. Take a big step forward with that right foot. And we're gonna ground down through the back foot, coming into our warrior 1. So we'll reach those arms up overhead as we have a strong and straight back leg. Really gazing upward. Big breath in. As we exhale, bring those arms behind the back. We'll interlace the fingers, working those shoulders back as we lift up through the gaze of the chest. And then as we exhale, humble warrior. So both shoulders will come to the inside of that right knee. We're just gonna let that head relax here. Maybe shake out the head. Big breath in. On our exhale, stay low, release those hands. We're gonna work that right arm underneath the leg. So it's kind of like we're flying. This is one option. It's not an easy one, but it's one option. If you're feeling a little bit playful, I'm gonna offer up flying lizard. So flying lizard is what I like to call broken running man, because it looks like your leg is going inward instead of outward, like it is in Ekapada Kundanyasana 2. So I'm bringing my shoulder underneath. I'm bringing that foot near my face, and I'm shifting forward to lift up that back leg. So it's really important to keep your gaze forward, because it's not a big lift. You could easily graze the mat with your toes, but because we're pushing really into the mat a lot and we're bringing our gaze forward, that's what keeps us lifted. And if you have blocks, they will make your arms nice and long to help you with this. One other little helpful feature, which I also think looks cool, like you're being paused in motion, is to make that back leg go upward. It's easier and it kind of looks cool, right? I know what you're thinking. Dang, she looks cool. I know, I can't help it. So cool. But also, don't worry about it if it's not working. From here, we come into half moon. So you might have a block there or another prop as you reach that left arm and leg up, opening up to the side of the mat. Really flexing through that foot. Big breath in here. Exhale, bring that left hand down. Left knee comes behind the right. Setting up for our seated twist. So we'll twist towards the right. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we get to do our cool move. We're little yoga break dancers. And now the left leg is on top. And we shift it forward to step the right foot back. And then the left leg lifts. So we go right under the other side for peanut butter. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing, lifting up those hips. Exhale, gaze to the front, big step forward. We ground down for warrior one on our left side. And then we bring those arms behind the back, interlacing the unusual way, setting up for our humble warrior. So inhale, gaze and chest lifts. Exhale, we bring both shoulders to the inside of this knee. Checking it out here. Yeah, big breath in. Stay low as we exhale, hands come down. And again, maybe we're flying by bringing that left arm underneath. Maybe we're playing with our broken running man or flying lizard. So we work that foot towards our face. We shift it forward to lift up that back leg. Or if you're cool, you bend it. These are just options. If they're not working today, don't worry about it. We're not even talking about them the next round or the next round. So from the space, half moon, we'll open it up towards the right side, right arm and leg lift. Really flexing through that foot as we inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. Right knee comes behind as we twist. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we break dance so that we have the right leg on top. And then we shift it forward. Left foot steps, right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze forward, step the right foot forward as we ground down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, arms come behind the back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, humble warrior. We stay low as we release the hands, and we inhale, half moon. Exhale, moving into that seated twist. Take a full breath in here. Exhale. And then we spin the other way. And once we're done spinning, we shift forward. Right foot steps back. Left leg lifts. Knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze forward, step it forward. Warrior one on the left side. Arms come behind the back. We interlace the unusual way. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, humble. We stay low. We release those hands so that we can inhale, half moon. Exhale, we're moving into that seated twist. We twist to the left, big breath in. Exhale. And then we spin it all the way around to where the right leg is on top. We shift it forward, left foot steps back, right leg lifts, last round, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze and step forward, warrior one, arms reach. Exhale, hands come behind the back. We interlace as we inhale, lift. Exhale, humble. We release for our half moon, open it up. And then left leg comes behind as we come into our seated twist. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we spinny spin all the way around. We shift it forward. Right foot back. Left leg lifts, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze forward. Left foot steps forward. We ground down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, arms come behind the back. Interlace. Inhale, lift. Exhale, humble. We release, half moon. To our seat. We twist to the left, big breath in. Exhale. And we shift it forward. Maybe you move through a vinyasa, or maybe you find any resting position of choice. How we doing? Let me just tell you that once you finish peanut butter, you should be so proud of yourself because it's like you're so far along. So get your drink of water. Towel off. Do what you need to do because it's jelly time. So jelly, we're coming into mountain pose. Fans, we're still practicing tapas. We're still devoting without burnout. And we're tapping into that commitment if the motivation isn't letting us tap into it today. So let's make our way to the front of our mats. Shoulders draw back up and down, just allowing your heart to lift. So come into your traditional mountain pose or Tadasana. So palms will face forward. Put a big smile on your face. Are we excited? I'm excited. All right. Arms reach, one-legged mountain, left knee comes in. As we exhale, we make it our way into that figure 4 chair. Really scooting back into that heel as we inhale. Exhale, step it back. Warrior 2 legs, and we take it to that reverse warrior, reaching up and over. Big breath in. Exhale, straighten that leg. And we move into our triangle pose, right arm down, left arm lifts. Leaning back into the pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower that hand. Hop that back foot in for pyramid pose. So you might want to bring that right hip back. Let your head relax here. Inhaling. Exhale. So from here, we're hop switching to switch out feet. I don't really care how you do it. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. I'm going to scoot my foot in a little bit, lifting up that leg. As I push into the mat, I'm just hop switching. And once I'm done with that, once the left foot is forward, right knee draws into chest, one-legged mountain. So that's our jelly. We find that figure 4 chair. Big breath in. Exhale, scoot it back a little bit more. One more breath in. Exhale, step it back. Warrior 2 legs, but we're taking it to the reverse. And then we straighten that leg, setting up for triangle pose. Left arm down, right arm up, hit it back into the pose. Really trying to reach up towards the ceiling like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down, hop the back foot in for our pyramid pose. Breathing by pushing into both feet, so working those legs straight or straight-ish. One more breath in. Exhale. Plant the hands. Lift up the right leg and hop switch it out. So now right foot is magically in front and left knee draws into chest, one-legged mountain. Exhale, figure 4 chair. We step it back and we inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, straighten. We reach, exhale into that triangle pose. And then left hand lowers, we hop the back foot in, coming into our pyramid, where we'll hop switch the legs. And then right knee draws into chest, one-legged mountain. Exhale, come into your figure 4 chair. Step it back. We inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we straighten. We reach, reach, reach. Left arm down, right arm up as we come into our triangle pose. And then right hand lowers. We hop that back foot in for our pyramid pose. Maybe shake the head out. And then we're switching it out. Left knee draws into chest, one-legged mountain. To our figure 4 chair. Step it back. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, we straighten. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, triangle pose. Left hand lowers, we hop it in, we inhale. Exhale, switch it up. Right knee into chest, one-legged mountain. To our figure 4 chair. Step it back as we inhale, reverse. Exhale, we straighten. Inhale, we reach. Exhale into our triangle pose. Right hand lowers, we can hop that back foot in for our pyramid pose. And if you want to hop switch it out, you can. That was really bad. Or maybe you move through Vinyasa. Or kind of any resting position of choice, because I have such amazing news for you. It's peanut butter and jelly time. It is 1000% my favorite part because we're bringing these two together one last time. I know you can do it. Get what you need. Get your water. Get a towel. I don't know. Say a prayer. Put a big smile on your face. It's happening. Let's do this. Down dog. Tapas. Devotion without burnout. Come on, commitment. Talk to motivation. All right. Let's do this. Right leg lifts as we inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, gaze forward, step it forward. Inhale, warrior one, right side, arms come behind the back. We inhale, lifting. Exhale, humbling. We release for our half moon. Yeah, really flexing through that foot. Nice. And then we bring that knee in towards our chest as we come into our one-legged mountain. So yeah, we eliminated some stuff, didn't we? Figure four chair. We step it back. We inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we straighten. We reach, triangle pose. Left hand lower as we find our pyramid. And then we can switch it out just for funsies or make our way through our vinyasa. Because the first side is done. Left leg lifts. Knee to nose. Wild thing. Warrior one. Left side. Arms come behind the back the weird way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, humble. We release for half moon. From our half moon, knee draws in, one-legged mountain, to our figure four chair. We step it back. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we straighten. Triangle pose. And then we bring that hand down. We hop it in for our pyramid. Maybe we switch it out. Maybe we take a vinyasa. Maybe we do whatever we need to make our way to resting position. Maybe seated like I just did. Congrats, you did it. All right. Find your way to a seated position. And as you make your way there, close your eyes, put a big smile on your face, and slow down the breath. And take a moment to let all of this just sink in for a sec. Yeah. And as you do so, as you're slowing the breath down, as you are checking in with the body, there may be something else that you need that's upright. That's perfect. You can go there or you can stay here. If you like to finish your practice on your back, maybe doing some additional poses as well, you can make your way there. Or if you feel like you want to complete your practice from a more of a seated meditative space, then hang out with me. But either way, we're doing what we need. Otherwise, we're coming into our final pose of Shavasana. As always, stay here as long as you need. If you're ready, you can start to invite small movements into your body, maybe wiggling the fingertips, the toes. If you're in a reclined space, maybe taking a nice full body stretch or any other movements that feel good at this time. We'll meet in a seated position, unless you're still closing down your practice or still participating in Shavasana. But we can bring our hands to heart center, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Know that I am so proud of you for showing up for yourself, for making this commitment to yourself and your mat, which is never easy, particularly when motivation doesn't like to kick in. And thank you for learning these lessons like tapas and taking them with you as you leave the mat, because that is when our true yoga begins. And until next time, namaste.